Darts Open und unter den letzten 32 bei den Czech Open, im Vorjahr im Viertelfinale beim European Matchplay. Hier ist die Nummer 49 der Welt, The Force, Justin Pipe! Er bekommt es zu tun mit einem Mann aus den Niederlanden, 43 Jahre alt, er ist ein echter Routinier. Schon 1991 hat er den Europe Youth Cup gewonnen, 2007 stand er im Finale der UK Open und ist aktuell die Nummer 33 der Welt. Hier ist der Dutch Destroyer, Vincent van der Voort!
Ultimate game of the afternoon session here at the Multiversum in Vienna for the Austrian Darts Championship, our second Euro Tour event from Austria this year. And we have got two guys who've won Euro Tour events in Austria. You're going back a way though, one of them the very first one, the Austrian Darts Open, won by Justin Pipe, the Force, back in 2012. And then a couple of years later, Big Vincent won the Austrian Darts Open in Salzburg, and he beat Justin Pipe along the way. Saw of Jamie Caven in that final, did the Dutch Destroyer. Now these two have only met once in the last 4 years. They have met many, many times. This will be their 14th meeting, but only once in the last 4 years. It kind of reflects how Justin has fallen away in the world rankings, but there have been signs of life for Justin Pipe. We saw him make a Pro Tour final, only beaten by Peter Wright, who was in astonishing form leading up to the World Matchplay. Indeed, continued it at the World Matchplay, but was halted by Dowell Gurney. And Vincent, well, he just always seems to be there or thereabouts, doesn't he? Always looks dangerous, but he hasn't won a title since that triumph at the Austrian Darts Open 5 years ago. Whoever wins this one will take on the number 14 seed Simon Whitlock in a section of the draw where there are a whole load of big names. It's a very difficult section of the draw to predict, but we may never find out who wins because at the moment they're still arguing the odds about how to set the board up. Rob Malarkey's jumped in the commentary box for this one. It is the Force and the Dutch Destroyer for a spot in the second round to face the Wizard.
Yeah, looking forward to this one, Dan. I've got to say, I think you're right. Justin Pipe has been working very hard to get his game back on track, and I think qualification for this tournament is further evidence perhaps that he's moving in the right direction again. Qualified for Prague as well, and that was swiftly followed by that run to the final of the 19th Players' Championship. And I agree, I think he just came up against Peter Wright at the wrong time, because Wright went into that tournament on the back of that success in the World Series at the German Masters. But nevertheless, it was a good weekend for Justin Pipe. And I think this is an intriguingly set-up match for the afternoon session. Two former champions on the European Tour.
Well, it certainly is an intriguing one.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Justin through first. Game on.
Now, Justin, of course, famed for being one of the slower players in professional darts, as Paul Hinks gets us underway. But although it can be awkward to play against him, particularly if you're a fast player, Vincent van der Voort, who for many years was regarded as the fastest player in darts, seemed to have little problem taking on Justin Pipe, even when Justin was back winning title after title after title, because he's won the vast majority of their games together, and he started off in a similar fashion here with a maximum.
Yes, indeed. 9 wins out of the previous 13 for Vincent van der Voort, but as you say, they haven't met for, well, just one meeting in the last 5 years or so. That was at the European Matchplay last year. Pipe winning that one 6-3, albeit with an average of just over 88. They have met several times on the European Tour stage.
100.
Yeah, this will be their 4th Euro Tour meeting.
Yeah, including one in Austria in 2014.
Yes. Ultimately, Vincent was victorious. I've seen him. I mean, that's the thing with Vincent. You've seen him threaten. He made a quarter-final back in July. He had a quarter-final on the Euro Tour in May. He goes on these runs and he's regularly making board finals and last 16s. He's picking up money. He's just not getting to those semi-finals and finals and giving himself an opportunity to win another title. You're not really sure why, because the standard is there.
Vincent
and he's not really had
121.
a great deal of injury problems of late. Anyway, the hard work he's put in seems to have paid off. Doesn't need to look at the 11 here, so he could look at 25. Now it comes down for the 15s instead.
89.
He's allowed to.
Yeah, it wasn't so long ago that Vincent was in a really bad way physically. I mean, he was making something like 2 or 3 visits a week to a chiropractor to try and address this situation with his back.
137. Vincent require 32.
Break a throw on the cards here, though, for Van der Voort, and that's exactly what we have.
Vincent Van der Voort.
First blood to the
Second leg
Dutchman.
is Vincent to throw first. Game on.
As you mentioned, a quarter-finalist earlier this year, Van der Voort. Likewise, Justin Pipe at the very start of the 2019 European Tour calendar, and that achievement was put into further context given the subsequent revelation by Justin Pipe that his father had passed away only just recently as well, and it was a terrific performance by Justin Pipe. And that quarter-final, coupled with his second-round appearance in Prague, means that he's not too far away from
100.
this cut-off point for the European Championship qualification. He's got £7,000 on the European Order of Merit for this year, so just £2,000 shy of Barney at the moment.
123.
Of course, picking up money here, and he'll be in Riesa. So, opportunities for Justin to leapfrog a few people, but what he doesn't want to do is end up being in a position where he has to go to Gibraltar and has to win a couple of games. If he could just, you know, a couple of wins here, a couple of wins in Riesa, all of a sudden things are looking pretty rosy.
57.
Vincent just inside the qualification places at the moment. A win here would be a massive step towards the European Championship for Vincent.
Although some players thrive in that situation where they perhaps need a big performance or need to go deep to qualify. I mean, look at Jamie Hughes, for example.
Yes.
Pulling off the unthinkable of booking his place in the World Match Play by winning the title in Prague. That's the only way he could do it. And guess what?
96.
Yeah, and then got to the match play and was 3 legs clear of Michael Smith in the first round. Now, had he converted that lead into a victory, who knows what would have happened, because Michael Smith went all the way to the final.
$123. Vincent require 85.
Winner of this to face Simon Whitlock, by the way. Let's see how Van der Voort fares with this 85.
45.
The double 19,
Just when you require 90.
Hitting the 7 accidentally. Sided against it. Scowl from the force. Didn't like that one. Oh, he's found his way through. Wants double 5 now.
80. Vincent, you require 40.
Nudge the wire of the double 5, but it is a miss, and Van der Voort can step in and hoover this up with one dart required.
Vincent Van der Voort.
And Van der Voort consolidates that early break with a hold of throw with double 20. 2-0 he leads. Ron Moulenkamp and Christo Reyes were the men that Van der Voort beat in qualifying for this tournament. Pipe had to navigate his way through 3 matches in qualifying. Alan Tabban, Barry Bates and Ryan Joyce. 5, 3 and 4.
Now, I'm not sure, but I saw them earlier on comparing timepieces. Justin Pipe might have the same watch as our referee Paul Hinks. I'm not quite sure. I wouldn't necessarily put them in the same bracket in terms of their sartorial choices.
Nico's the man for that one, though. He would
97.
find this out straight away, yeah.
Paul Nicholson may even keep a database of what accessories dart players have.
Well, not just dart players, I think.
Just people. Just everybody.
125.
He recognised those sunglasses a mile off as well. It is another gloriously hot, sunny day
80.
in Vienna, as it has been for the best part of a fortnight or so.
Vincent making Paul Hinks earn his money, picking his dart up front when you've had the back problems that Vincent's had. You're not bending over unless you really, really have to.
105.
Again, another impressive dart from Justin Pipe to find the treble 20 when he's covered up a lot of it. The way his darts lie in the board, really doesn't want to be high on the treble 20, unlike Vincent, who I would imagine will stay on the 20s. Oh no, he's looking down the board instead.
91. Justin
Just getting the
Nukar,
maths right.
130.
He's got to find another one. Can he do it for a third time in this game? Not on this occasion.
Well, if Vincent were to take this, I think
44.
would be a harsh
Vincent
scoreline for
Nukar,
Justin Pipe. He's
133.
thrown some decent darts in the early stages of this one, but he could find himself 3-0 down.
Ooh, well, there's the 3. There's
66.
another 3 that he didn't need.
Justin Nukar, 86.
Started off well, got significantly worse very, very quickly. Oh, mind you, that means the chance might go. And it has gone.
Yeah, that was a long way shy, or a long way off.
Should at the very least have been looking at one dart at
26.
the bullseye.
Vincent
but
Nukar,
Justin
67.
has just handed this opportunity to the big Dutchman. Treble 17, double 8. That's the first bit. Double 4 it is then. 2 darts
59.
missed for 3-0.
Justin
How
Nukar,
important will that
60.
prove to be? Justin just taking his time. Now the way his darts go in the board, this is all right for him, just under the double top. See, it's not in the way. You can just float it over that.
Shot on the
Exactly
third
there.
leg.
2-1, Justin Pipe.
Fourth
He
leg is
gets on the
Vincent to throw
board.
first. Game on.
Yeah, Vincent just distracted by a rogue cry from the crowd.
85.
There is a bit of isolated chatter going on, and I think Vincent was distracted by that. Not sure if it was directed to him or at him.
Yeah, it's one of those where the crowd on this Friday afternoon session is not sufficient enough for there to just be a general hubbub. So any kind of noise can just pierce through
24.
and become a distraction.
$100.
Despite losing to Peter Wright in that final, it was a very significant day, though, for Justin Pipe. 6-time a ranking event winner. It was his first ranking final in
140.
over 4 years. He had some good wins to get there as well, because he beat Gerwin Price, he beat Suljevic, and it was just a reminder that he can still beat some of the very best in the game.
Yeah, and he had been playing some decent stuff over the course of this year. Maybe not his best stuff, but he's winning games, and that's the thing that had been eluding Justin Pipe. And you look at the averages list, and he's only just clinging on to a spot in the top 64 in the Players' Championship stuff. But the thing is, he was winning games, and there was some good stuff in there, you know, a couple of hundred averages.
100.
Plenty in the 90s and high 90s. He'd said just before that run on the Euro Tour, I felt I'd been playing well, I just hadn't been getting the results. That his luck would turn.
66.
Here,
Vincent
it's
Nukar,
not so impressive. There's
119.
too many loose darts from Justin, and he's missing left and right.
59.
Vincent was able to go for the treble 20 first up, because Justin isn't even down to a finish. Again, he's high on that treble 20. Moves over to the 18s.
94. Vincent Nukar, 60.
Well, a little bit of breathing space here for Van der Voort with this 2 attempts at tops.
40. Just in your car, 120.
Well, took out the 60 with no bother in the last leg. It's the same thing, but with a treble 20 in there as well. He has to find another one of those wonder darts underneath a blocker. And again, it's just a bit too much for him.
88.
Decent setup.
Vision required 20.
May not matter.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Vincent Van der Voort.
Re-establishes
This
the
leg is
two-leg
shifting to throw
advantage.
first. Game on.
He was one of the stalwarts of the European Tour, was Justin Pipe as well. He, as well as winning that title
137.
in Austria in 2012, he's made 2 further finals. He was an ever-present in Europe in 2015 as well. He was seeded for many of the events over that time span.
140.
Well, he was in that cadre of players who was an ever-present on the Euro Tour, the European Tour in its current format. Set up in 2012, and that's when Justin Pipe was at the peak of his powers. So he was always up there, he was winning titles, going deep into major tournaments, right up there in the world rankings, genuinely knocking on the door of a Premier League spot, although Harry Hearn had joked that the rules would be changed however they needed to be to deny Pipey a spot in the Premier League.
Good side-on illustration of how different the 2 players' respective darts land in the board.
Yeah, and why
57.
Justin felt the need to move away from the 20s there, because the way his darts just hang over that bed makes it so hard to hit. Whereas Vincent can work his way in from those above the treble. Justin really wants to be missing low, and he's not been doing that very much in this game. .171 would be just the tonic, though, wouldn't it? Just the tonic for Justin Pipe.
Vision required 161.
Although this would really hurt Justin Pipe if Van der Voort were to find this 161 for a 4-1 lead. Treble 17 not found.
78. Justin required 36.
Well, double 18 can be tricky.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Justin Pipe. 6 leg is Vincent to throw
Pins
first.
that for
Game
13
on.
darter.
Really quickened things up there, Vincent, as well, as he threatened a 180 to start things off in this 6th leg.
Now you see outscoring Justin Pipe quite considerably in the first 3 visits of legs.
140.
It's about as good as it's got for Justin. Done 40 in terms of those scoring visits. His finishing is just about keeping
96.
him in this.
Yeah, Van der Voort's been showing a tendency to get out of the blocks quicker than Pipe, and it is Pipe's finishing that is keeping him just about in touch. Van der Voort does have the break, and he's got that comfort zone.
131.
Knowing that if he can just keep on holding throw time after time, then a place in the second round will be his.
$85.
Well, Pipe should be first to a finish here. He does not want to leave 170, but 320s would get him to that. See, that's where he wants to miss. If he's going to miss, because he can work his way up into the treble.
And
81.
Just using those first 2 darts just to slide in along the top, even with the angle of pitch.
Don't bust it, Benny.
Yeah, just take a moment.
140.
Well away.
Just in the car, 149.
Oh, well, actually, he'd pinned that one in the 1 there, so it's not 130 that he left. And he'll wish that it was, because he'd still have a chance. In fact, he'd have a dart at the bullseye had he not strayed into the 1 in that previous visit.
137.
And again, it's a loose dart, missing left and right, and there have been a few of those from Justin Pipe, and it may well cost him a chance to win this leg. And it does cost him a chance to win this leg, because these 2 have now traded 13 darters, and Vincent Van der Voort will be quite happy for that to continue, because having broken Pipe in the first leg, he's built up that cushion.
100.
Averages have crept up towards the mid-90s for both men, following those two strong legs of darts. Decent contest this, but one that
85.
Vincent has had his nose in front from the very start. The highest standard we've seen so far, unbelievably, came from a 17-year-old who's only playing in his first senior weekend of PDC darts. The Czech Republic
60.
player, Adam Gaulas, a 6-5 winner against Ross Smith. Both men averaging more than 98. Ross Smith missing a couple of match darts.
Yeah, he was 5-3 down as well, Gaulas.
60.
It was a very mature performance. Just looked to be enjoying himself on stage. Once he settled down, and even though he was in a spot of bother, and even though Ross Smith was playing really well, you know, he never buckled.
Oh, superb stuff from Adam Gaulas.
60.
Booking his place in the next round. Christian Bunser, the young German, takes on Jermaine Watermaner to round off the afternoon session.
60.
Likes of Jeffrey Desvaughn, Kyle Anderson, Stephen Bunting, Jamie Hughes, former world champ Mark Webster, two-time world youth champ Dimitri Vandenberg, all on the way this evening. We know that Mensur Suljevic, Dietmar Berger and Rusty Jake Rodriguez are all guaranteed to be in action tomorrow for the Austrian fans to cheer on as Justin Pipe registers his first maximum.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for Justin, but
97. Justin
there is the
Newcar,
first 180 for him.
101.
And it might well be the springboard to take this 7th leg.
Where's he looking? Double 16 it is. There it is. That is superb. Justin Pipe, 180, 101 checkout.
Game on.
Superb couple of visits from Justin Pipe to cut that gap once again.
Yeah, still in the rearview
100.
mirror of Vincent van der Voort. Can't quite shake him off just yet.
That's perfect. That first dart has got noticeably better over the last three and a half legs. Where he was missing high, now it's right on that bottom wire. It's exactly where he wants it. That's where Vincent wants his to be. But it's his turn to spray right and left.
Yeah, 180. 180, a 101 checkout and a 140 there for Pipe. So 8 perfect darts either side of the leg.
This time the 51 doesn't come to his aid. He's used it quite well over the last 3 legs or so.
45.
Another slip by Vincent, and this is the opportunity that Justin Pipe wanted. He needs to break the Dutchman's throw, and he's stolen the darts here. Moves over to the 54.
92.
See, that's what he sacrificed. He had an open bet to go for, but if he'd hit the treble 22nd dart, he then could have looked at the bullseye and he'd left the 170 finish. Now, he didn't. I think it's probably a wise decision because he covered up so much of it, and Vincent hasn't punished him anyway. But he needs a good setup shot from here.
Yeah, and again, he may well go on and win this leg, but it is all about the margins and the fine margins and making the most of every available opportunity, giving yourself that extra percentage.
57.
He's labouring again here, Justin Pipe. 57 gets him down to 126. Big visit here for Vincent, and he's back in business.
96. Justin Newcar,
126 plays
126.
125. If either of these goes, could be the game-changing moment. Treble 19 required. Does not happen.
98.
Does leave himself on double 14. Vincent, bull 25 bull.
Seen him do this before.
105. Justin Newcar, 28.
Gives himself an opportunity if Pipe allows him. How awkward is this double 7?
Game shot on the A flag.
Very
Justin
nicely
Pipe.
played indeed by Justin Pipe.
9th flag is Justin to through first.
It is the break back.
Game on.
Massive last start from Justin Pipe. That first one at the double 7, it looked good. It looked like it was a help, and he's used that excellently. Those little moments can be the difference. And Justin Pipe, over the last few months, he's been having days where those little moments have been going for him when perhaps they hadn't last year, the year before. Vincent van der Voort, his second maximum. Led 2-0 and 3-1 and 4-2 in this game. Sorry, so yeah, 2-0, 3-1 and 4-2. 3 times he's established a 2-leg lead, Vincent. But Piper's reeled him in.
97.
180 followed by the 97.
$93.
Oh, van der Voort favourite now.
140.
Great leg of darts from Vincent. Just dropping.
81. Vincent, you require 84.
Leaves 127 in game, but he may not get a go at it. 14 segments. No, gambles. Well,
52.
well. Vincent, why did you do that? You
127.
can't leave somebody of Justin Pipe's calibre a shot at 127 in game. You cannot do it. Because if you do it, the force might just punish you, and he has to move out of the way because that first dart unbelievably blocks a bit of the ball, and
102.
that might be a factor
Vincent, you require
in why he
32.
wasn't able to pin it.
Well, well, well. Gamble pays off for van der Voort, who's left himself double 16, but he may well have easily got his fingers burned there. And van der Voort back on track. It's a break back by the Dutchman, and he's one away from a place in round 2.
There is nothing in the averages here. Very, very little. But Vincent van der Voort, I thought that he might have blown his chance. He should have gone for the bull. So you cannot let a player have a dart at the bull, particularly at this crucial stage of the game.
45.
But he's got away with it, and he might well run away with the victory from here for what would be, incredibly, a 10th victory in his career against Justin Pipe.
134.
That's superb switching from van der Voort as well. Really stepping on the gas here in this 10th leg.
Can he fill it up?
140.
No, and he might needed to have done so because he's still 70 points behind. Vincent van der Voort, the finish line is in sight.
97.
And he is edging towards it. Got to fill it up. Is there enough room in there? Well, he cannot leave a finish now. Vincent van der Voort, 6 darts from 145.
100.
He will be very, very happy to leave himself 3 clear at tops from here.
Oh, well.
He's not going to do that.
45.
Just the 45. He's down to a 2-dart finish potentially from here. Justin Pipe, that might well have given him some encouragement. Needs at least 1 treble here.
How important could that bounce off the wire be for Vincent van der Voort?
100.
It might be very important.
100.
He can do this in 2 darts. He has 3. He may not even get a match dart with the 3. Is it tops, tops? It is. And he pins it as well. Vincent van der Voort. Tops, tops, 100 check out to seal it 6-4. The force is beaten once again for the 10th time by the Dutch destroyer, as Vincent sets up a second round clash with the Australian #1 Simon Whitlock, the 14th seed here this weekend. One more game to come for you this afternoon from the Austrian Darts Championship. The machine gun, Jermaine Watermena, takes on the Bunsen burner, Christian Bunser.
Und heißen herzlich willkommen in Runde 2 Vincent van der Voort. Vincent, congrats and welcome to the second round. What do you think about these guys? They seem to like you.
Yeah, it's great, right? When you get this kind of support, yeah, that's really good.
Also großes Lob an euch von Vincent van der Voort. Er sagt ein großartiges Publikum. What do you think about your performance at round one?
It was really difficult because he's not a rhythm player, let's put it that way. And I tried my hardest, and in the end I was the lucky one.
Also er sagt, er war am Ende der Glücklichere, weil es ein wirklich schwieriges Spiel war. So oder so, wir sehen uns und ihn auch morgen wieder. We're looking forward to see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much, Vincent van der Voort.